We don't need TV to entertain us. He said anus.
My woman was so riled up.
Don't forget to flick that bean.
So as I'm railing her from behind,
I think I can see where this is going.
Hey, hi.
Anybody who's had Tom Cruise Insider, I don't really think I want anything to do with that.
You put a ring on it so we can put a penis in it.
It's like a dog licking your ass. Do you stop?
I need a top hat and a monocle.
Kermit did a great job.
It's not easy being green, having to spend each day the color of the leaves.
And I'm just disappointed for this senior class that has done so much for our program.
When I think it might be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful like that.
You know, I've had some tough losses in my career, and I don't think any will be tougher than this one.
It's not easy being green. Seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things.
We weren't good, but they were better.
And people tend to pass you over because you're not standing out like flashy sparkles in the water or stars in the sky.
I may be in it a long time and never have another Denzel. That's what I said to Denzel.
I hurt myself today.
Wallaman got a piece, disrupted it a little bit. Oh my goodness! What was that? Jaquan Raymond with the reverse.
The pain, the only thing that's real.
They're letting it fly. Upshaw fouled and it counts. Reggie Upshaw. Turn it into Mr. March here at the NCAA tournament.
Trying to kill it all away, but I remember everything.
When the pressure hits is when that 5-minute mark and under, that's when you gotta start making big time plays.
Forbes for the answer, no! Board is ripped down by Buford. Sparty with the ball, down 3, traveled.
Yes, he did.
Turnover, Michigan State.
What have I become? My sweetest friend.
Buford on the take, he's got Harris, and it goes! Count the basket and a foul! Harris walks. Turnover. Smitty, we're at the 5:01 mark of regulation here. Michigan State has not led.
My empire of dirt, I won't let you down. I will make you hurt.
Valentine gets it back for 3. In and out. Buford flying high with the board. My goodness. Almost a turnover. 10 on the shot clock, and it goes down. Giddy Potts. Huge shot for the Raiders.
Wear my crown of shit upon my liar's chair.
Inside, knocked away. Raymond got it. A steal. And here comes Middle Tennessee. Wide to the lane. Give it up. Shot thrown out. And a foul.
Beneath the stain of time, the feeling disappears.
Michigan State's got to go quick. Shot clock is off. Go blocked. Giddy Potts. Giddy Potts will pull it back. And it's starting to look like a reality now. today. 6 turnovers.
Everyone I know goes away in the end.
Buford rips the rebound down, and it is on, folks. Middle Tennessee, a 15 seed, is going to take down the Michigan State Spartans.
I will let you down. I will make you hurt. If I could start again, a million miles.
Kermit did a great job.
Well, that's right. Welcome to Out of Bounds Detroit Sports with Geoff Mel, Kenny Franzel, and Mike Tripp. David Faes is not here today.
No, he is not.
We're actually a bit worried about him. We have not seen nor heard from David Faes since about Friday at about 5:30 p.m. Nobody has. I'm worried.
Disappeared.
He could be anywhere. We're actually gonna play a little game later on, and we're gonna try and figure out where in the world is David Faes.
It's going to be a great game.
But until then. We have to discuss the NCAA tournament because I'm pretty sure everybody's bracket is busted at this point, right? I don't think we need to go into that too much.
Huh?
Eh?
All right, I got some decent brackets.
I haven't checked mine since Saturday. I just gave up.
I'm ready to get you guys some beer because after day one, I'm sitting there nearly perfect, and the only reason I wasn't perfect was because I just legitimately got to fill in a line on the bracket. I forgot to fill it in. I forgot to fill in the Gonzaga game.
You took the loss.
But it didn't matter because Michigan State lost and all the dominoes fell, and now I feel like an asshole.
Do you have any Final Four teams left?
I have one Final Four team left.
Oh, all right. Well, cool. I still got 3.
And
so
it is my national champion.
Oh, there you go. If you win it, right? There's still a chance to hang in there.
Yeah. I'm relying on Bill Self.
Yeah, that
sucks. to win me a national championship.
That's gross.
What a turd. Michigan State. I don't think I need to tell you guys that they had a big game on Friday afternoon and didn't do so well.
I wouldn't call it a big game.
Didn't. Well, it is probably the most devastating loss in school history, at least for the basketball program.
It became a big game after the loss. Well, not so much going into it, but
they didn't lead.
No.
They got behind 15-2, and they could have just called the game right there.
Yeah, that was it. You wasted a bunch of our time.
Well, it was funny because I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm like, I texted you and Dave, and I'm like, holy hell, Middle Tennessee. And then you and I are both like, this isn't going to last.
Yeah, no way.
Michigan State's going to come back. They're going to be fine.
And they pulled within, one a few times.
And then 3 after 3 after 3. A team that doesn't even shoot threes very well in Middle Tennessee is just heaving up hook shots from midcourt, it seemed like.
You get hot, right?
they were falling.
It was like a heat check that never ended.
They got beaten by a guy named Giddy.
Yeah, Giddy Potts.
I don't know, that Reggie Upshaw was pretty...
yeah, he was balling.
Pretty good. But you know what? I think what should be even more depressing, even to me, somebody who's not a Michigan State fan, is the fact that Middle Tennessee goes out and gets bombed by a team that shouldn't even have been in the tournament.
Yeah.
In Syracuse yesterday. Losing by just 25.
Only 25?
Not a big margin or anything. Kenny's just sitting here.
I know.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
This is a two-man show right now.
I'm fine. I'm good. I'm fine. You guys are good. No, I'm listening.
We haven't said anything outrageous yet.
It's fine.
We haven't taken any pot shots. We didn't even really take any pot shots at Dave.
Not yet.
No.
There's plenty
I
of
guess
show.
it's more fun to do it, to his face when we get to see him next, but...
Have you guys heard anything from, Kenny, have you heard anything from your Michigan State brethren? Because there was, immediate reaction of, it's time to fire Tom Izzo and find an ridiculous shit like that.
This was such a devastating loss that I don't think even Michigan fans are like,
I don't even want to go there.
That's there's been some trolling. There's that fake Kevin Hart meme going around and stuff like that, and the Steve Harvey thing. So that's whatever. But it's been a very weird. I think just because of the amount of upsets, I mean, even on Thursday, I just kind of noticed, I was like, there's a lot of lower seeds that are going forward. And
we had
I
Little
think
Rock.
everybody was a little just prepared for it. And yeah, and it was also a midday game.
Yeah.
So like I didn't see any of it.
Yeah, I only saw the last 6 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I followed it on my phone as it was going, and I downloaded the app so you can watch it and stream it live. I watched a little bit here. I watched the very beginning and the very end, basically. Yeah. But the one thing I did notice is just how hard Middle Tennessee State played. They played so they wanted to win.
They were not
game.
afraid of
no,
Michigan
yeah,
State.
they were like, we're going to take this game from you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it was really impressive on that end to watch them do it, even though both you and I were like, this isn't going to last. There's no way. State's just going to, score and win with no time on the clock like they do in football. So I was expecting it to come down.
Oh, the last play of the game!
0, the only time they lead the whole game. They hit it with no time on the clock, but they got out rebounded, they got out hustled, they got out shot. I mean, even though they played great on offense, their offensive numbers were awesome.
They actually played pretty good defense too. That's the thing, and that was the thing that Tom Izzo went into the tournament kind of nervous about. He said himself before the Big Ten tournament, we have to play better defense. And I thought they played pretty good defense. Middle Tennessee just wasn't missing any shots. Like the way I feel that Michigan, like the way I would feel if I were a Michigan State fan about this game was that this sucks, and this is a disastrous result. But you shouldn't feel cheated. You shouldn't feel like your team didn't come out and try and play. They scored 81 points. If I told you that Michigan State was going to score 81 points against Middle Tennessee, would you have told me that they would have lost that game?
Right. Not to mention, it wasn't like they didn't lose like lucky either.
Middle
it wasn't
Tennessee,
like a half court shot.
It didn't feel like
it wasn't
they
like
were
a half court
robbed
shot at the buzzer or
Yeah.
anything to lose. It was they just out hustled and outplayed you. Man versus man,
and just made shots.
Yeah,
which is why they were able to score 90 points.
Executed on a level that no one would have ever predicted,
especially out of a mid-major.
Yeah, it was strange to watch.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I just want everybody to know I'm fine. I'm fine.
So which one hurts more? Is it Middle Tennessee State or Alabama?
That see the thing with I didn't really watch this game, but the Alabama game, it was just this impending doom. It was like
you felt it
right
before the game kicked off.
Whereas following the basketball game, you were like, okay, well they'll turn it on.
Yeah.
Eventually this team's their luck's gotta wear out, and they're gonna But with the Alabama game, it was just like, okay, all right, oh boy.
Yeah, they're piling it on.
Son of a bitch. Okay, all right. Oh, they're running it again. Oh, that's great. Oh, hey, that's great. Oh, nope, they're gonna. Are they?
Oh God, Jack!
No, they're running it again.
Jack Conklin's a turnstile.
Right?
Oh God.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And I think with football, there's this like cloud over football that they've never reached anything like that before. So it was something completely new. With basketball, it's not new to be successful.
Yeah, for Michigan State in the tournament, it was they went into this tournament. They were the odds-on favorite to win it. They were the odds-on favorite to win the tournament. Nobody was giving them a chance against Alabama on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
No. I think even most Michigan State fans realize, all right, it's really cool to have made the Final Four, and there's nothing to sneeze at. That's a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
To get to the college football Final Four.
Do you think it's harder to get to the football Final Four than it is?
It's got to be. Because, you think about it in basketball, any team can really go.
Yeah, I guess it's just a run of 4 games.
Northern Iowa, was one shot away from, making it 2 wins in a row, basically, and going on to the Sweet 16. You got these teams that George Mason a few years ago. Teams can go on a run in the tournament, whereas in football, you got to get to that top 4.
Butler getting to back-to-back Final Fours and going to a title game and almost winning it.
And in football, you have to be handpicked, basically.
And and there's that whole, if you're from the SEC, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. Yep. Whereas in college basketball, and I think a lot of it goes into the the NBA versus the NFL. The NBA has basically said to college basketball, we don't need you, and so college basketball has had to create its own niche and become its own thing, whereas college football and the NFL are still hand in hand.
Yeah,
it's just a farm system. So there's this entitlement. There's these teams that are they're good. So Okay, you're going to go there so that you can go play in the NFL type of a thing. Whereas in college basketball, you can play anywhere. You can go to Oakland University.
That's true.
And you can, possibly make the first round of the NBA draft. You can't play wide receiver at Oakland University.
Because they don't have a football team.
Well, right, shut up. I'm fine. I'm fine. But you can't do that. They don't have. You're not going to make that leap. So, but in basketball, you can do anything.
Yeah, I guess it's more in your own hands.
And
just make the tournament,
and you're
going to
see in the next few years, you will see a 16 beating a 1. It's going to happen.
This win for Middle Tennessee State was probably the closest that we've seen so far because most thought that Michigan State should have been a 1 seed, and they probably should have been.
Yeah,
and so that's even how I feel like some people are looking at it.
Yeah.
And this tournament in general, it's really funny because the ratings are down because of all the upsets. But like somebody like me, I love this, especially now that my bracket is busted. I'm just watching games like go Northern Iowa, go whoever the underdog is. I want to see them win.
There's been a ton of upsets, but there's how they've been talking about. There's more parity in college basketball. Well, normally, I saw this stat this morning. Normally, there's in the Sweet 16, there's 13 big conference schools and about 3 mid-major Cinderellas. This year, there's 15 major conference schools, only 1 Cinderella. So it's actually the better schools and the higher seeds are actually winning more than normally. But it just seems like the upsets.
Well, what's funny is that one Cinderella you speak of is Gonzaga.
Yeah.
And is that really? I mean, Gonzaga's a pretty powerhouse basketball program.
Yeah. No, they've been around too long to be a Cinderella, really. Just because.
Yeah, it's just the mid-major lower end schools.
But it is a 10 versus an 11.
That's true.
Because they're playing Syracuse, a team that shouldn't even be in the goddamn tournament.
No.
God, I feel like an ass.
Damn Orangeman.
For bitching about that last week. Now look where they are. Well, they also didn't have to play Michigan State.
Yeah.
And they had to play a Middle Tennessee State team that was coming off a high.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee won their March Madness tournament.
That's all they needed.
Yeah, they blew their load in one game. That was it. It was over.
They didn't need. They were like, well, we got it. We're good. we got chicks and booze for days. We're not buying a steak sandwich for years, boys. We're going back to the quad. Woo! Yeah.
Kings of Middle Tennessee. That's what they are.
Mulatto Reggie Upshaw is in front of all of it. And a guy named Giddy Potts.
Yeah, Giddy Potts is an awesome name.
It's a fantastic name.
Awesome name.
I think I heard his real name is Nathaniel, but that's not as fun as Giddy.
No.
His mom named him Giddy because she was giddy when he was born.
That's
one of the dumbest things you've ever heard in your life.
Absolutely ridiculous. It's almost as bad as Taffy Ruffles.
Taffy Ruffles.
I want to see or Oreo cream filling. That's true. We should have a counter for all the Dave trolls. Since he's not here. I really
get on the Dave Troll counter.
I really hope that he texts me or something soon because I'm worried.
Yeah, you might be dead.
Might be dead.
Dave, where are you?
He's drunk.
Call us.
I'm sure he's fine. He's fine.
He's drunk, passed out somewhere in East Lansing.
He's checking on the beer somewhere. Count it.
Sleeping on a charred couch.
Sleeping on a charred couch.
Just foraging for berries along the Red River.
You know what he's
Red
doing?
Cedar River.
He's sitting outside of Spartan Stadium, naked. Shivering, just waiting for football season.
holding a boom box like John Cusack, playing Peter Gabriel. D'Antonio!
And he's got like 50 missed calls from Kristen, like, where are you?
We haven't even started the Dave trolling yet.
We haven't even gotten to where in the world is David Faes yet. Did you guys watch the Texas A&M Northern Iowa game?
I did not get to see it, but I saw the highlights of it.
First of all, to Northern Iowa, this is what I have to say. Karma, bitch. Because they took my Texas Longhorns out of the tournament because some asshole threw a half-court shot behind his head doing a backflip at the buzzer to beat
ridiculous.
Texas.
One-handed with his eyes closed. Yeah,
kicked
while
it into
riding
the basket.
A unicorn.
Shaka wet his pants. Couldn't believe that he lost that way.
I actually think I saw a poop stain on the chair he was using.
There were probably a lot of poop stains after that shot.
Gross.
Yep. Gross.
Gross. Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
That's gross.
This is where we draw the line.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Butt stuff.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
He's all right.
Oh, I missed the butt stuff drop. I did. It's been a while since I heard the Gronk audio.
We're going to take a break. And, we have to get to our out-of-the-box hottie of the week.
Oh.
I think it's a good one this week.
My favorite moment of the week.
I kind of... I can't imagine why. That's actually the part of the show where Geoff takes his pants off regularly.
Just for that, awkward. I'm fine.
That's why I sit all the way over here.
I'm fine. Okay.
Yeah, Dan's always on the other side of the table.
We got to get to these Richard Sherman comments about Roger Goodell, because I don't like Richard Sherman, nor do I like Roger Goodell, but I like when Richard Sherman says shitty things about Roger Goodell. So I have no problem with that. We're going to play Where in the World is David Faes, and we have to get into what's going on with former MSU hoop stars, because it's getting out of hand.
It is getting out of hand.
Tom Izzo cannot be happy with his former players at this point. The Red Wings are on an upswing. We've got some other stuff we got to do the breakdown of all that. When we come back on Out of Bounds Detroit Sports, Geoff Mell, Kenny Franzel, Mike Tripp, and myself, Dan Griffin. Don't go away.
My expectations for the rest of the night are to do many, many more recreational drugs.
That's lovely. I thought she was a nasty girl, and I was right. She's tying cherries up and nuts with her tongue. I said, I wish I may, I wish I might. Wake me up a little something. Daddy left the lights on in Motel 6. Baby could compete with a whole bag of tricks. Wrote the cuff, but she left the keys. Show me that I ain't never even seen. I did it one time and I liked it, so I did it. 2 times got addicted, I had to do it. 3 times couldn't help it, and the number 4 times was the best. She showed me how it was supposed to go. Now give me a little bit more.
Yeah. Welcome back. Out of Bounds Detroit Sports. Geoff Mell, Kenny Franzel, Mike Tripp, and myself, Dan Griffin. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at @OB_DeadSports, and also the Out of Bounds Detroit Sports Facebook page. Invading your ear hole via the iTunes podcast app, Stitcher app, and SportsRadioDetroit.com. And by the way, Geoff, we would be remiss not to tell the people that we will be live this Thursday.
Oh, yes,
from
we
8
will.
to 10 at CaveRadioSports.com, so tune in. You'll be able to call in and bitch at us. I can't wait for that.
It's a new era of Out of Bounds Detroit Sports.
If you can't make it between 8 and 10 on Thursday, that show will be podcast as well the following day. So fear not.
Yeah.
There are many ways to get a hold of us. So Monday shows will be podcast on Tuesday morning.
Like
Thursday shows will be live from 8 to 10 at CaveRadioSports.com, and also podcast Friday morning. So nothing really changes except we'll be live on Thursdays.
Yeah,
which is kind of a big deal.
Technically, you could listen to us 3 different times a week.
Yeah, if you want to listen to the same show twice.
That's too much.
I don't know.
Nobody's doing that.
I don't know why anybody would ever want to do that.
No one would ever want to do that.
Once is more than enough. I can't believe people listen once.
There's nothing on in the morning when I drive to work. So.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. That's literally Kenny listens to us by default.
It's either you or Stoney and Bill. So
well, I am flattered that you find us more appealing than Stoney and Bill. You can't be the only one, though.
I find the sound of silence a little bit more appealing than Stoney and Bill. I don't mind Stoney and Bill. Yeah, no, I won't get into it.
It's just a discussion for break time, I think. Speaking of listening or seeing things more than once or having things happen to you more than once, that was the worst segue of all time. Segue. Hulk Hogan's getting another giant settlement for his sex tape.
Yes, he is.
What is he getting now? He's getting $25 million on top of the $140 million.
Isn't it like 140 it now?
Oh yeah, so it's 140 total.
Yeah,
at this point. So,
jeez,
all because his dick was out.
Not bad for a night's work.
No.
See, he sat there and he bitched about this sex tape being leaked. And he's now $140 million richer.
Screw you, Hulk. Screw you.
I would have sex with anybody for $140 million.
Anybody.
I would have sex with Mike Tripp for $140 million. I would be the newest story in Mike Tripp's Key Party.
Next week.
For $140 million.
Yep.
Mike, would you have sex with me for $140 million?
Probably not.
Oh, come on. $140 million?
No.
I'd have sex with Mike for
That's
$50.
a hit to the ego.
What's that?
That's a hit to the ego.
Yeah. It is a little bit. Jeez. I do kind of have like a womanly prettiness to me, though. You put a wig on me, maybe some eyeliner.
No, I still don't see it.
Oh, that'd be awful.
Rough.
Oh, man. You'd look like a $5 crack whore.
Well, $2 maybe.
I was being nice.
You give me too much credit, Kenny.
I'm in your house. I'd be nice.
Finally. Kenny spends all this time trolling me. When it comes to my looks, $5 crack whore. When I'm dressed up like a woman.
Jeff is ignoring you right now.
God damn.
He's like, I'm just going to stare at this and pretend like I'm not here right
This
now.
is all very much like Hulk Hogan getting $140 million for banging some broad.
I wish I could get $140 million. Anybody can tape me if they feel like it without my permission.
Good.
So I can sue them for $140 million.
And sell it to Deadspin.
Good.
Host of Out of Bounds Detroit Sports, Jeff Mell.
Who?
He's the new Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to do Jeff's favorite part of the show and get to the out of the box hottie of the week.
Out of the box. Out of the box.
Maybe you get a bikini wax. Oh, I'm out of the box. Get back in the box.
Go look at the fun bags on that hose hound.
Damn!
Oh, well, we are all in Walking Dead fever right now.
The most Walking Dead fever.
2 weeks ago, that show was insanity.
It's still insanity. Everything, it's just unraveling.
Well, Sunday's show was a little bit boring, right?
Yesterday's?
Last Sunday?
No.
With Carol and Maggie or this
Sunday?
I didn't think so.
It wasn't that boring.
There was an unexpected death.
Yeah, when twists and turns come, it livens it up a bit.
We have our second out-of-the-box hottie coming from the cast of The Walking Dead. Not only that, but our second out-of-the-box hottie from the cast of The Walking Dead of the African-American persuasion. And we speak, of course, of Sonequa Martin Green, the actress that plays Sasha.
What up?
And the reason for that is because, does anybody know Sonequa Martin Green from anything besides The Walking Dead?
No.
She was on an episode of The Good Wife.
Well, there you have it.
I didn't see that episode.
Season 6, episode
IMDb.
41.
Yeah, something like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But she doesn't look great in The Walking Dead because nobody looks great in The Walking Dead.
No, they look like shit.
Except for Lauren Cohan because she could basically wear a burlap bag and a clown shoes and she'd still be hot.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody have Photoshop that they can make that happen right now?
I like it.
I will be getting on that. Just as proof that Lauren Cohan always looks good. But Sonequa Martin Green is our out-of-the-box hottie of the week. And Jeff, we're counting on you to find some quality photos. You should,
I'll get it done.
You should split it again. Have one of what she looks like in The Walking Dead, and then have one hot picture of her.
You know what? That seems like the right thing to do nowadays.
And people will see.
Get to see the difference. You know, the regular, the hottie that you didn't know was there, and then the hottie. I think it's the best way to go.
I don't often hear because when people watch The Walking Dead, it's all about Lauren Cohan for good reason.
That's true.
You don't hear about anybody else.
I like Christian Serratos, Rosita. She's fine.
Yeah,
she's fine. She's still fine on The Walking Dead too.
She's new though, relatively new compared to the rest of the cast.
2 seasons in?
Yeah.
She's been there a while. She's not dead yet, so that's good. Something to look at. It's The Walking Dead. Everyone dies. God, you looked at me like I was talking about her in real life.
Spoiler alert! Jesus Christ!
For anybody who hasn't started watching The Walking Dead yet, you're insane. I don't know what planet you're from, but you're not from this planet.
I think the show's kind of boring.
I like this.
That's a great picture.
Why. I think the show's kind of boring.
Kenny doesn't like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
God, Kenny.
What does Kenny like?
Nothing.
Okay, that's all.
We've actually been over this before on the show. That Kenny,
I never have, so that's news to me. All right,
Kenny.
No, it's just I'm not a zombie person. I just found the show kind of like slow and boring. It's not bad, but
it does have its like series of episodes where it's incredibly like, okay,
it's plot.
When's shit gonna hit the fan?
Plot driven.
Reminds me a lot of like Mad Men, where it's like it's good. I'm like, this is good, but I don't care. I'm like, I don't care.
I mean, you got to be a zombie fan.
And it didn't have the boobs of what's her face to appeal to me.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Christina Hendricks.
Yeah.
She is never going to be an out of the box hottie of the week.
Bless America.
She is very much in the box.
Yeah, she is. I don't know what that means, but yeah, yeah.
We all know. We all know. Apparently Kenny is the new boob meister of the show.
Yeah?
Attention. We're looking for the chick with big boobs.
I myself am a leg man.
I'm okay with that.
I like it all.
Is that weird to anybody?
No.
Are legs a strange thing to be sexually attracted to among all other body parts?
No.
Good. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
I felt weird. I've been feeling weird about myself for years.
Why?
Not knowing what to think.
Long legs can be hot.
No, they can't be. It's not just that they can be hot. It's just that they are.
That's true.
Especially
What
if
is
you're-
it about the leg that really appeals to you? Is it the top meat, the bottom meat? Is it that knee joint?
What qualifies as
What's-
the top meat?
What makes us sexy? Because
man,
I'm
a
not
nice-
really a leg man.
A nice round patella is just. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Clean shaven patella.
Tell she's got a real springy ACL. Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I never like a chick with like a fat tibia bone.
Yeah.
I'm not into that stuff. I don't even know if that exists.
Tibia's real.
Oh man,
It's a real bone.
I'm gonna lick your fibula.
That sounds.
That sounds great.
Well, that's making the intro for Thursday. Anyway, Richard Sherman had some comments regarding Roger Goodell's rule changes, saying that Roger Goodell is just a suit and he's tired of suits running the game. Now, I don't like either of these guys. You know what? I don't really feel either way about Richard Sherman. I think he's a good football player. He doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
He doesn't really. I don't love him. But, I mean, we all love to hate Roger Goodell, right? I mean,
That's
that's just part of being a football
It's like,
fan.
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I just don't care. I mean, whatever. Like he's
There's nothing we can do
he's
about
the bad
it.
guy. Ooh, Richard.
Well, he doesn't. Oh, Richard Sherman.
Oh no, Roger Goodell. I don't know.
Well,
What
I
are we
mean,
talking about?
the thing that
I'm fine.
You keep saying that.
I'm good.
And I'm just not sure.
Spartans! What is your profession?
So you're just gonna try and make me cry? You're just gonna break me down. It's like therapy. No, I don't care about Roger Goodell. He's the bad guy, and Richard Sherman's. Guess what, dude? Without suits, you don't have an NFL.
Yep.
It's business. Nobody would give a shit about you. You wouldn't be making millions of dollars if it wasn't for suits.
Do you imagine
So-
like Chad Ochocinco and like Terrell Owens, because they're great friends, getting together and running the NFL?
Yeah, that would be awful. That would be awful.
Like, if Richard Sherman doesn't like suits, let's just take all the agents away from sports and they can negotiate their own personal contracts. See how that works out.
Well, I mean, Richard Sherman may have gone overboard with the whole suits running the game thing.
Yeah.
But I do see his beef in that they're sitting here trying to determine things like what the fuck is a catch, because we as fans still sitting at home, guys have been 4 guys in this room that have been watching football for years. I think we all tend to think we know the game pretty well, and we don't know what the fuck a catch is.
No, I love when they're like, let's go to Mike Pereira. And he's like, oh, that's definitely not a catch. And they're like, it's good. Touchdown. You're like,
After further review,
Yeah.
they call on the field stand.
you're like, what? Mike Pereira doesn't know?
Oh, the worst is Mike Carey, though. He's even
Yeah.
worse
Yeah.
than Pereira.
Yeah, Mike Carey speaks in fact. Like, anything he says is true. And it can't be the other way around.
Well, glad you're not officiating games anymore there, Mike. But the 2 rule changes that Richard Sherman is speaking about specifically are, what is a catch? And his suggestion was that you get some like old school, like Hall of Fame wide receivers like Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and Chris Carter and Randy Moss, get them together. Have them be the brain trust for what is a catch. And while that sounds kind of ridiculous, I actually kind of like that idea.
Right.
Because we haven't been able to determine what a catch is at this point. Why not let wide receivers, you know what, get some old school cornerbacks in
Yeah,
there
I
as
was
well.
gonna
Get
say.
Darryl Green involved, Charles Woodson, get those guys involved to determine what a catch is. That way you have minds from the defensive side of the ball and you have minds from the offensive side of the ball.
Why do we need such definitive? Like,
I
that's
know,
the
I know.
problem.
I'm
We
with
have to
you.
have this definitive. Oh, that's a catch. That's not a catch. We're taking the human element out of the game, but there's no way to do that because you still got guys making decisions.
Based on the tape.
Yeah, based on tape, based on what they see. People see things differently. You could see 4 people walk in front of you and you only notice one person, whereas I'm standing next to you and I only see a different person.
Right.
So you're taking that human element out of the game. People are going to make mistakes. These guys aren't perfect.
I think something like a catch is always going to be, like, to the naked eye. Like, if I take somebody who's never watched football before and showed them the Calvin Johnson catch in the end zone against the Bears that got called back, the Calvin Johnson rule catch, I asked my mom. She doesn't like football. I asked her, I said, did he catch that ball? And she said, of course he caught that ball. So to everybody, everything's going to be, in regards to something like a catch, it's always going to be subjective. Like, to the person, to a fan of a team that is rooting against that wide receiver, that's never going to be a catch.
Right.
To a fan of a team that's rooting for that wide receiver to make that catch, it's always going to be a catch.
It's the process, man. The process screwed everything up. Somebody should catch the ball, or they don't catch the ball. They're really like the Calvin Johnson is a perfect example of this, where he caught the ball, fell on his butt. To me, it's down, right?
Yep.
You've caught the ball in the end zone. You fell on your butt. You're down. It's a touchdown.
Gosh, you're all making me so mad!
We all know it. He rolls over and he sets the ball down to get up, and the ball comes out of his hand, and it's the process. It's like, I thought the process ended when he hit the ground.
Well, the thing that's even dumber is that the rule is different in the end zone than it is in the field of play.
Exactly. Like the two, the football move and the 2 steps and all that stuff. It's like, geez. I get it when there's a fumble involved, right? Where the guy's like kind of bobbling the ball, he gets hit, the ball comes flying out. You don't know whether he caught it or whether it was he never really had it in the ball. It's a fumble. But this is just getting ridiculous, and I really hope that next year they review this again.
This is an issue where, and I've said it before, instant replay is actually hurting the game.
Yeah, big time. Big time. They'd be better off adding like 2 more officials and getting rid of instant replay. And if it happens, it happens. Guess what? Your team's gonna get screwed. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, Lions get screwed with replay.
But then the Lions also benefit from plays.
No,
you know
yeah.
I mean? So it works both ways. Look at Dallas the other couple years ago in the playoffs. They benefited from a call, and then a week later, a very similar call screwed them.
Yeah.
You know, it's a give and take. It's that human error aspect of it. And if you just take the instant replay out of the game, just add a couple more officials to give you a little bit more transparency, and then be done with it. And you know what? If you fuck up, you fuck up. There's also this whole thing in sports now where if an official fucks up, we got to go back and apologize. Oh, they messed up. They made a mistake. Who the fuck cares? It's over.
Especially in the NFL, when you have officials that aren't even technically full-time employees.
Well, they're
they're like school principals inside.
That's the problem too. But the officials are so bad. Like, there's just a lot of obvious things that I think we all see.
There's so many rules.
Yeah, there are some, but they're just bad.
So hard to keep track of it.
Teams get screwed every week on a bad call that isn't reviewable, and we all know what the true answer was. And like right now, we don't even have good officials. If we added 2 more officials to every game, we just have 2 more bad officials.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So it's kind of there's a give and take. I like
there is a way to solve that.
I like replay in certain aspects, like running backs going over the goal line. I think that's great. We need that replay because a lot of the times replay is definitive and it helps that play a lot.
You know what's really funny? Baseball's headed in the same direction because the baseball just keeps adding more replays. Like I liked, is it a home run or is it not?
Yeah.
That replaying that is fine because that's something that you can look at and say, okay, that ball hit the yellow line, it didn't hit the yellow line. It's a home run. It's, you know what I mean? I didn't have a problem with home runs being reviewed, but anything after that, now you're down that slippery slope of now things are going to start getting really subjective, and how long is it until we start challenging balls and strikes? And it's like baseball was fine the way that it was.
Yeah, balls and strikes never need to be touched.
And
ever.
or even out safe by bang plays at first base.
Yeah, the only problem is like the Armando Galarraga game. You know, it was like a replay would have definitively told us that was a perfect game.
But you know what? That is a play where it didn't really affect the game. It affected Armando Galarraga in the fact that he would have a perfect game on his record if the call had been correct.
But it was a very special moment that got ruined.
Sure. It's just a personal accolade. Like, I don't even think about that anymore. It doesn't really bother me. Armando Galarraga's not a good pitcher.
Yeah.
He never really was.
If he did his job properly, that ball would have never been in play. You know what I mean? If he could have, the way it was, if he could have gotten that grounded to second or something like that properly, but, that's just a bad pitcher having a good day and then kind of, it all falling apart on him.
The thing the reason that chaps Tigers fans' asses so much is because no Tigers ever had a perfect game.
Right.
Well, yeah, and
he would have been the first one.
It was a fun moment, It was like
it was enjoyable to watch. It was a memorable
game
experience.
Going, It's just like any no hitter. You're like every time there's a no hitter, it's like the world stops, and you tune in and you find out what's going on.
Another easy way to fix that would have been if Bud Selig hadn't been 90 years old and come out and said, "Well,
we got it wrong. It didn't affect the outcome.
It didn't affect the outcome.
Perfect game.
We're going to give him the perfect game.
Yeah.
Like we're going to let that go in the record books.
I don't understand why they wouldn't have done that.
You can't do that. I mean, but here's the thing, though. I mean, you have those issues. If you find out that somebody's throwing a perfect game, do you still tune in? Yeah, it doesn't affect you. I mean, you know that shit's going to happen. You know, the Galarraga thing didn't sour anybody on perfect games. Nobody's like, he'll fuck it up, I'm not going to watch it. People still tune in. So
That's
it's just,
true.
And it was almost a bigger story because he didn't get the perfect game.
Yeah.
Because it was a screwed up call. But in a negative way.
But
that's what makes news.
Because that's not what it's for, right? Let's just use this, we kind of got off track on this whole replay thing, but let's just use this Armando Galarraga thing as an example. Detroit fans stopped what they were doing, and they tuned in for a special moment. And at the very end, it was blatantly robbed away from Armando Galarraga, from the Tigers, and from the Tigers fans who were enjoying it. Now, it did become a bigger story, but I don't give a damn who liked that story outside of Detroit. I felt for the fans.
Settle down.
It sucked. That sucked. And replay would have fixed that. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. You're completely right. It's a slippery slope on how far you go with it. But there are some things that I think...
And the Galarraga thing's such a special circumstance, And
the outrage was only people watching at home. I had a friend who was at the game, and they were like, oh!
Yeah, they couldn't tell
Like,
from the stands.
until the replays. But we see too many replays, and then you've got the morons in the booth, oh, that was a horrible call. That was awful. And so now you're like, yeah, that was awful! Yeah,
I mean,
that was a shitty call.
You know what part of the problem is here? The advent of the HD television set,
and
the advent of all these camera angles and all this different stuff. Yeah. Like you go back and look at like Franco Harris and the Immaculate Reception, right?
Yeah.
Today, that's not a catch.
No.
Pittsburgh loses that game, and the Raiders go to the Super Bowl.
Bounces off the ground clearly.
Yeah.
If you're in HD and color, we're like, what the hell is that?
But the Immaculate Reception with instant replay doesn't happen. It's one of the greatest plays in the history of the NFL. Everybody looks back on it. Everybody loves the Immaculate Reception, except for me because I'm a Raiders fan.
You should call it like the Immaculate Reception BR before replay.
Yeah. But the other,
AR after replay.
The other rule that Richard Sherman specifically mentioned, and this one I cannot stand this idea. 2 personal fouls and you're ejected. Immediate ejection for 2 personal fouls. Think about this. Let's say it happens early in the game. Devin Taylor's ghostly face mask of Aaron Rodgers. That's a personal foul. Okay, he goes out and he accidentally latches on to another face mask later in the game and he's ejected because of 2 incidental face masks. That's absurd to me.
Yeah, I think it would almost be like the NBA, like flagrant fouls. Like Aqib Talib in the Super Bowl. Those were... He was headhunting early in the game to frustrate them, and he did those penalties on purpose.
Well, you know what? How about
and he would have been gone in the first quarter. Would have changed the whole complexion of that game.
Let's do it like this then. If you are caught headhunting in the NFL, if you're caught taking a deliberate shot at a player's head, no 2 personal fouls, you're out right there.
I mean, Aqib Talib ripped the guy's damn helmet off and threw it. Basically.
That's an ejectable foul.
But it was just a personal foul, and he got to keep playing. Then he got another one.
You cannot broad brush all personal fouls.
No, you can't. It would have to be considered like a flagrant foul.
Well, it's similar to what they do in soccer. I mean, I would assume you get the 2 yellow cards and you're out, kind of a thing. But it's I don't have a problem with it because it makes you more aware. Now you can't go out there and be a total asshat and just do that. You have to actually. Oh my God, you actually have to play the game. Instead of trying to spend your entire time getting in the other team's head.
Yeah.
Now you actually have to play the game. I don't know. Do your fucking job.
In the name of protecting players, in the name of all of the concussion issues that we have in the NFL, I like this rule. But my issue is broad brushing all personal fouls. You can't throw somebody out for a couple of incidental face masks. And the face masks happen on every single play.
Yeah, but 1 personal foul is an accident. 2 personal fouls in a game is probably a pattern.
I mean, you can accidentally latch onto somebody's face. I mean, I'm clinging to the face mask foul because you see incidental face masking all the time.
Right. Yeah. Well, then for that you'd probably have to change that rule just a little bit
and
determine what makes it a
it's the way it's worded.
Yeah. Or you just instead of calling like that, like the face mask, for instance, instead of calling that a personal foul, you just change the name under which it fell, and then you still keep the shoving after the whistle, all that kind of headhunting, all that kind of stuff.
A lot of sports do this type of a system, and it works really well, and it keeps people, like I said, from being a-holes. And sorry, Richard Sherman, you're not going to be able to be a complete asshat and just go out there and mess with people, you're actually going to have to do your job.
Yeah, you're gonna have to play.
Funny part is, Richard Sherman doesn't take a lot of personal fouls.
No, he doesn't.
because he's decently clean.
He's
player.
not a dirty hitter, and everybody knows he's good, so nobody throws a ball to his side of the field.
Yeah.
So he's just there. He's
just getting paid millions
He benefits
of
from a
dollars.
little contact on the line, but that's... I mean, they all do that.
That's what makes him good.
All the best ones, yeah.
It is what it is.
All the best ones get a little handsy on the line, if you know what I mean.
It's just ask David Faes.
Yeah, David. That would explain a lot.
He's always getting handsy. He normally sits in your seat, Kenny, and I'm always feeling weird things under the table. I don't know if it's him or my dog. I'm not feeling those today.
Or him and your dog.
I mean, I can take my shoe off, and if you want,
keep it on.
Make you feel better, right?
Keep it on.
I'm just saying,
Jeff finally didn't take his pants off
friends
during the out of the
do.
box hottie for once.
Score one for this guy.
Score one for the rest.
Yeah, we're all facing you, so
That's true. Jiminy Christmas! All right,
Fire hose.
We're going to take another quick break. I think the first thing when we come back, we're going to bullshit about something because that's normally what we do when we come back from breaks.
That's what we do the entire show.
But then we're going to get into where in the world is David Faes? Because we have to know. The people have to know all the possibilities. If we have time, we're going to touch on all the goings-on with former MSU hoop stars and also the Red Wings upswing. Sudden upswing. This is good. This is good. I'm actually not going to pick on the Red Wings for once.
Ooh. Look at you changing your
Good
ways.
that you've got a Red Wings flag behind your head.
And you got a Red Wings shirt on.
I do. I do love this sweatshirt. My sister got it for me for Christmas. It was a lovely gift.
It looks like a lovely gift.
But before we go to break, I'm going to sell some furniture. Don't go. We don't want people going to the big box stores to get their office furniture.
Never.
Because it's garbage, and it'll fall apart in months, and you'll be the one left holding the bag, especially if you let Dave use it. As I've said before on this show, what you need is some quality office furniture from our friends at Office Furniture Warehouse. Maybe you're expanding your business and you need some stuff for your new employees because you can't send them into an empty office because they'll laugh at you, punch you in the balls, and run away, and you're screwed. Office Furniture Warehouse has everything you need to fill the office with quality furniture for a productive workplace. The best part is they'll deliver everything for you. They're not just going to pull stuff off a truck and throw it in a room. They're going to set your entire office up for you, and you'll have to let me know if you get quality service like that from the big box stores because I've personally never heard of it. If you need office furniture, there's only one number to call, Office Furniture Warehouse, 248-585-5400, or visit them on the web at ofwmichigan.com. That's 248-585-5400 or ofwmichigan.com. You're listening to Out of Bounds Detroit Sports. Geoff, Mel, Kenny Franzel, Mike Tripp, and myself, Dan Griffin. And we'll return shortly.
I wish I could just hang around you all the time and just do whatever you do and just learn from you and aid you.
Welcome back, Out of Bounds Detroit Sports. Geoff, Mel, Kenny Franzel, and Mike Tripp. And, of course, myself, Dan Griffin. Follow us on Twitter at Out of Bounds. Or, I'm sorry, we are Out of Bounds Detroit Sports.
Yes, we are.
Follow us on Twitter at OB_DeadSports. And also the Out of Bounds Detroit Sports Facebook page. And go check out Kenny's new sweet vlogcast.
Yeah. TV Chips.
The Dip with TV Chips. Yep. Available on YouTube.
Taking the world by storm. 32 views at a time.
He just taste tests things and looks at comic stuff.
Yep. Some recipes. I made some gummy blocks, which I brought you some.
You did,
some
yeah.
vodka
We should try those.
Infused gummy bear block, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I have some. They're
Good
in the
times.
fridge. Ooh. They're in the fridge. We might have to taste test those on the show.
Strawberry vodka.
Very, very good. We're invading your ear hole, as always, via the iTunes podcast app, Stitcher app, sportsradiodetroit.com, and don't forget to flick that bean and download the Podbean app and search Sports Radio Detroit for all the other fantastic content. There's a ton of it. I'm not going to talk about all of it because it's about us today, as it is every other day.
Yes.
Kenny was just talking during the break about a new movie that will star Margot Robbie for some reason, And she's too hot to play this role, in my opinion.
Yeah, according to Deadline, Margot Robbie is now attached to a film titled I, Tonya, the Tonya Harding story.
This is spelled like iTunes?
No, it's I, Tonya. I don't understand that.
No, it's more like it's more like
little case I, big case T.
It's more like iRobot.
That's there's no director attached. Yeah, why? Why not?
Because no director will take that godforsaken film.
Well, you know, I mean, with Robbie, Robbie is now a star.
That's what I was going to say.
So,
when you look back in history after that movie is made, and you say to yourself, "What was the thing that destroyed Margot Robbie's career?" That was the one.
Tanya Harding is single-handedly killing another career.
Oh God, she played Harley Quinn, and then she played Tonya Harding.
Question mark?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I mean, you know, if they're going about this the right way, if they're making it, you know, a legitimate film, which I mean, if they've got Robbie attached, it's probably got a decent script. She's not, she's not scrounging for parts.
Or they're paying her.
She's got her choice. Yeah. Well, she's attached with no director currently, so that means that the script's got to be probably pretty good.
Oh God, she's directing.
Yeah, she directs it.
The only thing I want to know is, will they be tackling the sex tape?
I hope so.
God bless America.
It won't be as good as when they made that made-for-TV movie about Heidi Fleiss.
Yeah.
You guys remember that one?
God, Heidi Fleiss.
Was it called Call Me or something?
Something along that, yeah. Something along that line, yeah.
God, gross.
Gross.
Everybody's been in that box.
Oh,
that's not out of the box.
You better get out of that
Put that
box.
back in the box.
It's very much in the box. And just dried out and gross.
Man in the box? Get back in the box.
So I don't have to get in that box. Anyway, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, I forgot about this one, guys. You guys see this article? Of course from TMZ Sports, because I love TMZ Sports.
Yes, you do.
Rick Fox says that esports will overtake the NHL in 2 years, ratings-wise.
Jeez.
Well, and the reason I bring this up is because people, I know, you guys all know you're hockey-nistas, right? And there are so many of them in this area, in Detroit, and they swear that everybody loves hockey. And I don't know what you're looking at. Like, I love hockey. Hockey's my favorite sport. It's the sport I grew up on. I'm wearing a Red Wings shirt. You have a Red Wings flag behind you currently, Jeff.
Yes, I do.
But the thing is, I do recognize that America doesn't care about hockey.
No.
Nobody cares.
Only the Great White North.
Especially after they left the worldwide leader. Biggest mistake in NHL history.
Oh, Bettman doing it again.
Well, yeah. No, he's probably not wrong. He's probably not wrong. I mean, hockey's kind of awful to watch.
Esports, I don't know if it'll get that bad.
I don't know, man.
Twitch is pretty popular.
I mean, you got to think about how many people play video games.
Yeah.
You know, in this day and age, and I mean, I was at a bar not that long ago, and they had ESPN on one TV and ESPN 2 on a different TV, and on ESPN 2, it was a Halo tournament.
Oh God.
And I'm like, this is on ESPN.
Well,
right
yeah.
People will watch anything. Trust me, I have a YouTube channel. They will click on anything.
For some reason, Kenny has a YouTube channel. Yep. Go check it out. TV Chips. That's right.
Shameless plug.
Tip with TV Chips.
Well, we might as well. He was kind enough to join us tonight.
That's true.
And even after, I mean, because Dave still hasn't been heard from.
No.
And Kenny was, as a Michigan State guy, was kind enough to come on and take our beating.
I'm fine.
And he's fine.
I'm fine.
He's absolutely okay.
I'm fine.
Speaking of not knowing where the fuck Dave is.
Yeah, who knows?
Let's get into our special segment of the show. Where in the world is David Faes?
Well, she sneaks around the world from
That's right.
to Carolina. She's a sticky finger
Sneaky Dave.
from Berlin down to Belize.
I want to listen to this for just another minute.
We make so many memories.
Tell me where in the world is
David Faes. I'll go first, guys. The possibilities are endless for where in the world is David Faes. In my opinion, David Faes is on his way to Central Tennessee to take responsibility for the rash of arsons that are about to break out.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you have for us, Jeff?
He's filming his first porno under the name Taffy Ruffles, a salty snack.
That sounds like a gay porn if I've ever heard one.
Well, that's Dave. Any other way?
No. I mean, he does have a lovely fiance, but I think it's all just a front.
The beard, right?
Well, I checked, and my sources tell me that David Faes has partnered with Tom Hanks, and they're hunting down Nicolas Cage, who has stolen the Declaration of Independence.
It almost sounds like it's a movie plot.
National treasure.
I would watch that movie. Even with David Faes, I would watch it.
I mean, he is in a Lawrence Tech commercial. He's a big deal.
That's true.
He's a big deal.
He does a once a month show on Detroit Sports 105.1 this Saturday, by the way. I don't remember the time slot. 11 to 1. Yeah,
you're a good friend.
I am. Even after all the, I mean, if anybody can find him.
Yeah, that's true. He might not even show up for that show. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe
just be the mailman by himself.
Just be the mailman.
Mike,
where
in the world is David Faes?
He's in a bunker with Izzo and MSU Mike, just waiting for that round one fallout to kind of disappear.
Down. For the internet to stop murdering people.
It's tough.
What else you got? Anything else?
I have a few more. I think David Faes is in East Lansing, disguised as a couch as a means of suicide.
That's a good one. I think David Faes is getting his MSU 2016 tourney champs tattoo removed.
Now, is that a tramp stamp?
Yeah.
That lower back tattoo?
Is there any question?
Definitely. Mike Tripp knows all about tramp stamps.
No, I do not.
I heard that David Faes has walked to Austin, Texas in the hopes of getting his hands on some of those virtual reality porn machines that they had at South by Southwest. Real excited.
That's a good reason not to get a hold of anybody and tell us where he is.
I don't know why he walked. I mean, just buy a bus ticket, bro. I mean, come on. He's real excited.
Dave has a tendency to do things the hard way.
Well, you know.
I don't know if you noticed about him.
No comment.
Mike?
Come back to me.
All right, I'll come back to you. We do that a lot on this show. I think David Faes is at Danny's in Windsor interviewing a new fluffer.
Why does it need another one?
He's been flufferless for a while.
That's true.
Because he fired Eduardo.
I think Dave is having a conjugal visit with Mateen Cleaves.
That's a singer. Fucking zing. My goodness.
Good Lord.
He loves him some Mateen.
I heard that Friday afternoon, shortly after the Michigan State game went final, David Faes was thrown into a fit of rage, destroying buildings and cars and all sorts of stuff. And now he's forced to walk the land like David Banner, all alone, with
Green
just his
and
thoughts and his purple pants.
He does have purple pants. I've seen him. They're awfully baggy. They're like except instead of wearing like the ripped pants, he's got parachute pants on. Just dancing like Hammer.
God, that's quite a visual.
With no shirt on.
Somebody Photoshop Dave's face on MC Hammer, please.
Do you have one for us, Mike?
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you guys seen the movie Requiem for a Dream? In that last scene, Jennifer Connelly.
Oh God, that's a great scene.
Yeah, he lost a bet. Now he has to double in a dildo with one of his buddies.
Ass. Oh, man,
David Faes.
He's got twisted real quick.
My last one is this. David Faes is in the front room, asleep, checking on the beer.
Yeah. There you go. And my last one is something Dave loves to do. He is currently baking penis cakes.
or fellatio cakes, as he would say.
And any sort of phallic cake is what he's making right now.
Careful. You have to portray the phallus properly.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it circed or uncirced? That's the question.
It's Dave, so uncirced.
That's right. You got any more for us, Kenny?
I'm out. Yeah,
no, Mike, any more?
One more.
All right.
He's just passed out in a vegetative state in front of the TV, still with his eyes open, beer in his hand, looking at a TV like, what the fuck happened?
He's gone catatonic. Completely catatonic. Those are all of the possibilities. Dave, if you're out there listening, please get a hold of one of us. We're worried about you. Where in the world
soon, buddy.
is David Faes?
He's a double-dealing diva with a taste for thievery. Her itinerary's loaded up with moving violations.
David
Faes.
That's right. The possibilities are endless.
I'm really hoping for the porno.
You could be anywhere.
That's what I put my money on.
Dave would be, in honor of David Faes, we're going to talk about probably his favorite team, and other than, of course, the Michigan State Spartans, and that's the Detroit Red Wings. A big 3-1 win over Columbus, followed up by a 5-3 comeback at Florida.
Yeah, Florida was impressive.
These are two massive games for the Detroit Red Wings, okay, because they're still sitting in front of Philadelphia. Philadelphia's still got a couple games in hand. So when you look at, especially the 5-3 comeback against a Florida team that is very, very good, that the Red Wings have struggled with the previous 5 times they've played them.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go, and the Red Wings did it in a way that they haven't won games this season. They don't come back.
No.
Right? They get behind.
They just struggle.
And they lose games. And the thing that is really, I guess, good.
You're a wordsmith.
Really can't think of a better word about this is that the big guys are scoring. You've got Tatar putting pucks in the net. You've got Nyquist putting pucks in the net. You've got Larkin putting pucks in the net. You've got Datsuk putting pucks in the net.
It's about time.
Should do what we do with Roger and get all my mispronunciations tallied up.
It's one of those days.
I don't think I'll reach 24.
No.
Quite like the great Rogelio Castillo. And also Jimmy Howard's play in Peter Mrazek's absence. But what you need to do now is you play Tampa Bay tomorrow night, Wednesday or Tuesday night. You go win that game. I think Hockeytown is going to feel extreme relief, especially if you do it in commanding fashion.
Yeah, when is the last time they put it on somebody? Like, I feel like even bad teams put it on somebody here or there. And I feel like they haven't done that at all this year. I just can't remember an instance. And it's kind of strange. Their games are so close every time.
It's definitely been before the All-Star break.
End. Yeah, the winning end or the losing end. It's just a goal game.
But we talked on the Thursday live show about, which team between the Pistons and the Red Wings, if you had to put your money on one to make the playoffs, which would you put your money on? You put your money on the Red Wings, Jeff. Dave and I both put our money on the Pistons, who, by the way, just squeaked one out at home against the Milwaukee Bucks after not leading for 47 minutes and 50-something seconds.
Narrowly avoided
58 seconds.
Narrowly avoided a turd, that's for sure.
And that would have been another stereotypical Piston loss, a game that you should win at home against a team that's young and talented, but not as good as you are.
No.
But the Red Wings winning these last 2 games in the fashion that they did, particularly the Florida game, I don't know why. That game, I felt something after that game.
You know what's cool about that game? And it was like, whoa, I'm watching that game. They're down 3-2, right? I'm like, I think I'm going to, make something to eat. There's, a few minutes left, and I'll come back and pop in on the game. So I walk out, I go to the kitchen, make something to eat, come back maybe 10 minutes later. It's 4-3. Like, what the hell happened in this game? They scored 2 quick goals to get back into it and actually take the lead. That's something they haven't done all year, as well as even coming back. It's just kind of getting back quickly and making a game out of it in the end.
But this is a chance right now, going up against Tampa on Tuesday night. This is a chance to do, because how many games are left? Like 10, if that?
Close,
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I had the schedule in front of me seconds ago, and I can't remember. But this is a chance to do what you want to do going
10.
into the playoffs. What are the teams that succeed in the playoffs? It's the teams that play well into the playoffs. You see, as much as we like to talk about parity in the NHL and anybody can win, there's one common theme, and that's that teams that play well at the end of the season going into the playoffs are the teams that tend to do well in the playoffs. Teams that back into the playoffs, like the Red Wings have done in recent years, are the teams that get bounced early. So the Red Wings have a couple of options here. They can play 500 hockey and get the 8th seed and back into the playoffs, or they can make a little run here, win 7 out of the next 10.
String some together.
And go into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum. I think we as fans will feel better, and I think the team itself will feel better about itself, have a chance to have some quality goaltending, get Cronwall back in the lineup, even though he's had a tough year. The team is better with him than without him, and see if you can't stun somebody in the first round, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That's the goal. I mean, it's nice to see that they're scrapping and they're not giving up on a game like that Florida game, because, 2 months ago they probably would have just rolled over and died, but now they're fighting. they're putting the puck in the net a little bit more, which is it's not that big of a lot of people are like, oh, they got to put the puck in the net. They don't have that problem. It's just getting those opportunities, But they're still weak on defense, and that's going to be hard to fight. That's an uphill battle. Come playoff time.
It's going to be really difficult to overcome.
Yeah, I don't foresee them winning a playoff series with a defense like they've got right now.
The team has a ton of holes. Like, first of all, you're not scoring on the power play. Your penalty kill is middle of the road. You're weak on the blue line. And then to top that all off, in recent weeks, you haven't been scoring. And the guys that have to score, or the guys that you expect to score, haven't been scoring up until these 2 games. That game against Toronto is it's a microcosm of the entire Red Wings season. You give up a goal or two. Teams aren't stupid. They game plan. They know what they have to do. They get up on you. They play a ton of defense. They forecheck one guy. They force you to take shots from the outside. And, it's another stereotypical Red Wing game. 40 shots on goal, 1 goal scored.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to avoid. And that's not what happened against Florida. And that's why the Florida game to me is, like, if this team's going to make a playoff run, I think the Florida game is going to be the game that we turn back to and say, that's the one that started the run.
Yeah. It's this weird dynamic that we haven't really come across recently is we used to be this finesse, score a bunch of goals, win a bunch of regular season games, get a high seed, get into the playoffs, get bounced out early, because we couldn't grind it out and win games. Now, we struggle, but we grind.
Sure.
And that style of hockey translates to the playoffs, which could be beneficial in the aspects of them making a little bit of a run here. I mean, I don't think they're going to want to stand up or anything, but...
Look back at the 1997 or 1998 teams. Now, I realize the rules have changed, okay? It's a different game now. I get that. The thing that made the Russian Five so good is that bringing that European element over, it was all about puck possession. When the Red Wings would control the puck for 2/3 or 3/4 of a game and make little passes and just have the puck. That's the difference that I'm seeing now, is that I don't know if you guys are seeing this. I'm seeing a lot of attempts at bomb passes through the neutral zone. Now, I realize I'm not an idiot. I know the rules of the game. You take the 2-line pass out, you're going to have more bomb passes. But I feel like I'm seeing so much of that, and they're missing those passes, and they're icing the puck too much. And against the game against Florida, I feel like there was a little bit more patience, a little bit more. Let's move the puck back and just keep the puck a little bit more. I feel like the Red Wings in this stretch of bad games, and when you have a poor defense, as you say, Kenny, what remedies that? Having the puck remedies that.
Yeah. Not to mention they. For some reason, they love to stand flat-footed at the blue line and not come with speed through the zone when most of their forwards are speedy guys. So that's really kind of strange to me, too. It's this offense that they're running with Blashill. I think that's why you notice it, right? Now that you notice it, because it's Blashill now and it's not Babcock, and he wasn't that kind of guy. That power play last year moved the puck through the neutral zone with speed and got in on the net. This year, it's 2 forwards standing at the blue line waiting for the third guy to come up with the puck, and then you have the defense dropping in offensively, leaving glaring holes to guys that aren't very good in the first place. I think that's where the defensive problem comes in. There's a lot of catch-up going on when it comes back to going the other way. So I think they'll work it out, and the reason I said that I thought they'd make the playoffs over the Pistons is because they have those veteran guys in the locker room that know how to win. And a lot of these guys, even some of the younger ones like Nyquist and Tatar, they've been in the playoffs 3-4 years. Got brought up late in the season and have been there. So they have the experience. They know what it takes to get there. And I still think they're going to get there. They just do. They just pull it out every year anyway. It's really hard to count against them.
The problem with this team is they have struggled all year to find an identity.
Yeah.
They were
sounds like the
Lions. They were Stevie's team, and then they were Nick's team, and then after Nick they were Zetterberg's team, but they were Babcock's team.
Yeah.
And now
our job is to win games, which we have not been doing to this point consistently enough.
Get him away from the show.
Jim's one hanging out with Blashill.
There's just no identity. Are they a
Criticism
young
doesn't
team?
bother us, and particularly doesn't bother me.
Shut up, Jim.
I can't wait for another year of Jim Caldwell. Not for the team, but for our drops.
Right. Yeah, it just I don't know. I think if they haven't found their their identity at this point in the season, it's going to be real difficult. Like you said, though, there's a lot of guys that have been down this road before, so they know how to get there, but they don't know what they are.
I think if they're going to have an identity at this point, it's going to be goaltending.
Yeah.
It's going to be Peter Mrazek coming back from this little tweak injury that he has and being the Peter Mrazek that he was earlier in the season.
And I don't think the goalie numbers in the last stretch of 10 games or so, I don't think those are really reflective on the goalies themselves. I think it's been reflective on how bad the defense is.
Yeah, the defense is awful.
I mean, they're just early in games, they're getting peppered.
And
There's
Pleasures,
guys sitting out in front of the net with nobody there, just waiting to rip it in.
Well, when you have moron Brendan Smith turning the puck over at the blue line, when you have Jonathan Ericsson effectively not even knowing where the hell he is on the ice.
Okay,
and then on top of it, you don't have Peter Mrazek razor sharp. Like, he's still good. Like, he's still been good, but he hasn't been razor sharp.
He hasn't been stealing any games recently.
Right, and when you combine those two things, you're going to give up 3 goals. Yeah. You know, you're going to give up a couple of bad goals on some bad turnovers by bad defensemen, and then you're going to have, that one fantastic shot that Pete doesn't have a chance to stop. You're going to give up one of those a game. The best goalies in the league give up one of those a game.
Yeah.
But, you compound that with the fact that the defensemen aren't playing up to par, and Pete's not like let's say that him top notch is a 10, he's playing at an 8, and it's not good enough because your defense isn't as good.
But Jimmy's been a lot better.
Jimmy has been outstanding.
Now, if you can keep these two guys playing well together,
but only one of them's going to play.
Only one of them will be in the playoffs,
and it'll be Peter.
But that it's just if Jimmy right now in these last 10 games, if he plays, say, 3 or 4 of these games and he wins them all, that'll be huge. Yeah. If he plays well,
no doubt. The key is right here. Go out, because I'm going to be locked in. This is going to be appointment viewing for me tomorrow night or Tuesday night. You go out, you beat Tampa Bay. I'm back on board, and I'm right there with you, Geoff, on the Red Wings getting back to the playoffs. And I will look back on this Florida game that they just won and say that's the game that turned everything around. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're all hoping for. But right now, we got to get to the breakdown.
Break it down. Break down, break down. Break down. Break me down.
Oh, my. Nate Diaz just can't get out of the news.
No, he can't.
He did beat Conor McGregor.
Good for him.
He, for that victory, was hooked up with a custom bong.
Who doesn't like a custom bong?
You know what I love about him, though? You know what I love about Nate Diaz? He doesn't hide the fact that he loves to smoke pot. No. He's a professional athlete. He doesn't care.
Hey,
he loves it.
You get the shit kicked out of you for a living? Smoke a little weed. Who cares?
MMA.
What are you gonna,
Who's,
Is the weed going to hurt your brain?
Come on.
With the fists to the head aren't.
It's the last thing I'm worried about.
I have to ask you guys, what is the most unique gift you've ever given or received?
Well, I'll have to say it's unique. It's also very strange.
A blowjob from Caitlyn Jenner.
No. That would be for you.
That'd be for David Faes.
Yeah, that would be for... Maybe that's where Dave is.
He's going to BJ from Caitlyn Jenner!
My aunt gave me a telescopic back scratcher one.
At least he didn't say blowjob.
Yeah, at least I didn't say blowjob.
And what did you use that back scratcher for, Geoff?
I didn't use it for a very long time, but one night I had a mosquito bite on my back that I could not reach. And I was like, son of a bitch, I got this back scratcher that extends out.
Just hold it like He-Man. I am the fire.
It's like one of those pointers where you just whip it out and then whack it against the blackboard with a back scratcher on the end. And I was like, I never thought this would come in handy, but this thing is awesome.
Thank you, Aunt. Thank you, Aunt Flo.
And I've never used it since. One time, like 3 years.
You still have it?
Oh, I still have it.
You never know when you might get another mosquito bite on your ass.
Keep it on deck.
God. Mike, do you have an interesting gift?
Yeah. It would have been Christmas 1997.
He remembers the year.
Well, that's when I got my Green Bay Packers stock certificate.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, the most expensive piece of paper ever bought.
I didn't buy it. My parents bought it for me. I still have it.
They spent $200 and some odd on a piece of paper, Mike.
I'm a shareholder.
I will forever troll you for that.
I know you will. I don't give a shit.
Better than your paper. You ain't got no paper.
Well, how much can you sell that stock for, Mike? How much is that worth? Is that going up in value at all?
It's What, $250 is what it is, what they sell for?
And it's worth as much as that piece of paper is worth.
Yes, exactly. That's it. But I'll never sell it. I'm going to die with it.
It's all right. You're a Packer fan. It's cute. I like it.
It's cute. In typical David Faes fashion, I have two.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, God. Damn it.
I also had an aunt who would give me very weird gifts. Like one year I got like this really nice like clipboard with like a calculator on it. It's just, but one year she gave me a glass head. It is a human size head.
Like a shrunken head?
It's a big. I still have it. It's a regular size head.
Is it just a skull or like
No, it's like a face. It's so weird because like the head, like the top of the head has like hair follicles. It's the weirdest fucking thing on the planet, and I don't know why I still have it. I used to have a Darth Maul mask that I put on and I'd hide it in the bathroom. Just scared the fuck out of my roommate.
A decapitated Darth Maul.
Yeah.
His head's in the bathroom.
As far as a gift I gave, several years ago during Hurricane Katrina, a good friend of mine was stuck in her hotel. She was with her mom and they were in New Orleans when the hurricane hit and the levees breaking and everything like that. So she was stuck for about a week in New Orleans. When she came back, we had a big party for her, and all of her friends were all degenerates. So we all got her.
Why were we not invited?
We got like hurricane mix and like Idiot's Guide to Weather. I got her a fishbowl, and I put like regular stuff, and I put like beads in it, and like all sorts of like Mardi Gras type stuff, and filled it with water. Her husband was not amused by any of this shit. But
look, it's all
they were
ruined.
awesome. They were such great gifts. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, so, yeah. Everything she got was just total like,
Wow, trolling the Hurricane Katrina victims. That's fantastic.
Good times.
That's like the time during softball when it's like we played in a really dusty field, and it wasn't me and it wasn't anybody on my team. It was somebody on the other team. They like slid into home plate and they were just covered in all this dust. And one of his teammates looks at him and goes, "Dude, you look like 9/11."
I felt it. I saw it, and you're telling it. I'm like, oh boy. Here it comes. Oh, there it is.
I was like, oh my god! It was like
That's
10 years
awful.
later, but still, Jesus Christ!
Still
Too soon.
It's just a joke that can't be made. As far as interesting gifts that I got, I actually just got it today from Kenny Franzel. He got me a bag of vodka gummy bears.
I like it.
And I can't wait to try them. I'm going to get drunk on gummy bears tonight.
A whole lot of them.
And it looked like I was walking in with drugs because
It
I
did,
had them
like
like in a paper bag,
rolled
like rolled
up.
up, and I'm like, here you go, like, yeah.
So we smoking down tonight, Kenny? Or what's going on?
Smoke down, eating some vodka gummy bears. It's about to be a party in this
There's
bitch.
actually a small bag of weed in there. Our second breakdown topic, gentlemen, a Hindu activist died after drinking pesticide in a cow's rights protest. So I have to ask you,
Dying
gentlemen,
for the cause right there.
what is the dumbest protest that you can ever remember?
I got one. It was after the Super Bowl when people tried to protest anti-Beyonce.
Oh, God.
And there was an organized protest set up for the NFL headquarters.
In other words, it's just closeted racists.
But
Like, how dare you
that's right,
dress
they're
up like the
"We're
Panthers?
We're going to set this organized protest up right outside the NFL headquarters. Not a single person showed up.
There's like one guy with like a sign that
Screw
said,
Beyonce! So dumb.
What do you got, Kenny?
I channeled my inner David Faes, and again, I have two.
Oh, that's right.
There's when Obama took power, there was this phrase.
He just took power. The overlord, Barack Obama.
When he murdered George Bush in cold blood.
Yeah. Well, okay. So everybody calls Obama socialist, whatever, the political, whatever.
He's not.
There were these signs, and I don't see them anymore, but they said "Commie Czar." Obama is a commie czar. I'm like, first of all, I don't think you know what communists or czars were, because Nicholas would have killed to have been a communist. He wouldn't have been hung and killed. I mean, they're two different things.
First of all, didn't the communists get rid of the czars?
Yeah, the communists overthrew the czars. So, what is going on in the White House? Obama's like, no.
He's like yelling at himself.
Yeah.
Between his two hands.
The other one is close to home. A couple years ago, I've seen him twice now in Rochester at the corner of Auburn and Rochester Road. There is a guy during the holidays who holds a sign that says "Fag Santa."
I don't. I don't know. Oh, is that the gay Santa? Wasn't there a gay Santa?
I don't know. He's got like a Santa doll that sits on top of the
In other words, Kenny doesn't even know what this guy's protesting.
I want to stop and talk to him, but I don't.
That's why it's dumb.
It just says fag Santa. There's no explanation. There's nobody that's there with him.
Like, if you're going to organize a protest, you better at least kind of explain what you're protesting.
And why Santa? He's got a wife. I mean, he could be on the DL, but, you know.
Who cares? He's banging the Easter Bunny, whatever he's got to do.
Fag Santa.
Or
I got a picture.
Or the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, it's.
Is it possible that
legendary.
the Tooth Fairy is actually just a gay man?
Very possible.
Wasn't the Tooth Fairy Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
It's true.
And then Larry the Cable Guy?
Yeah.
In the sequel?
I tell you what, that's funny right there. I don't care who you are right there.
Don't have one.
Mike doesn't have one.
Don't have
Mike
one.
doesn't have a dumb protest. I've got one that's actually pretty close to home. That was the Detroit water protest just last year.
Oh, yeah, that was dumb.
And that's because, all right, here's the thing. Here's why I don't like it. When people come out and say that water is a right, I would agree with you. Water is a right, and you can get it in a lot of places. However, to have water delivered to your home, that is a service that you must pay for to have water delivered to your home. If you want free water, you can go down to the river and fill a bucket.
Yeah, you can
dig your own well.
Yeah, put your buckets out when it rains. Go right ahead.
And then Mark Ruffalo got involved, and it was a disaster.
God, Mark Ruffalo.
The Detroit water protest.
That was silly.
I mean, come on, you got to find a way to pay your bills.
Yep. I got to pay my water bill.
That's a very conservative viewpoint I just had right there. That's
Yeah,
not
you
like me.
No. Free water for everyone!
Yeah, that's right. Water is a need.
That's pretty good.
That is our breakdown.
I liked it.
Do we want to troll Dave anymore before the show's over?
Fuck you, Dave.
We hope you're still alive.
Yeah, seriously. You gotta get.
I didn't mean that, by the way. I don't know.
He's got to get.
I mean, it's not really fun to troll a dead guy, so we hope you're still alive.
We're doing the show assuming he's still alive.
Yeah, maybe, you know.
He's fine.
He's not going to be here Thursday either.
That's right. We get to troll him again.
We get to do Where in the World is Dave twice in 1 week. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
It'll take place of the Mike Tripp's Key Party on Thursday.
Yep.
Which we didn't have today either. Before we go, though, we've talked about this guy many times on the show, that being Robert Griffin III.
Oh, yes.
Possibly going to Cleveland. I would rather not play ball anymore if I'm Robert Griffin III.
Take your money and run.
Then go to Cleveland.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good place to go to die.
That's rough.
Literally. That's probably where David Faes is right now. Oh, God. He's trying out to be the Cleveland Browns' next quarterback. That's exactly what's happening.
Hey, by the record of Cleveland Browns quarterbacks, he's got a shot.
That's true.
They're gonna go from Johnny Football to
Can you be any worse than Tim Couch?
Let's stay away from nickname quarterbacks, maybe.
Maybe.
What was Bernie Kosar's nickname? Oh, he didn't have one.
Because he sucked.
He was the best quarterback they've had.
The Coz.
He's the best quarterback
The Cozy.
ever had, outside of Otto Graham, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of Otto Graham. That's
outside of Otto.
Anyway, I think that's all we have for today.
It might be.
Don't forget to check out Kenny's vlogcast.
Yeah.
At TV Chips on YouTube.
Yep, on Twitter, at Facebook, TV Chips.
That's right.
And check us out live on Thursday.
That's right. Yeah. 8 to 10, caveradiosports.com. I'll be there. Jeff will be there. David Faes, of course, won't be there. But we will have board op extraordinaire Rogelio Castillo punching the buttons for us.
We might try to pull a gas out of our asses by then. We'll see.
Yeah. We might have a pretty special interview to play during that show as well.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
Stay tuned. 8 to 10, caveradiosports.com. Thursday. Until then, you've been listening to Out of Bounds Detroit Sports. Geoff Mel, Kenny Franzel, Mike Tripp, and myself, Dan Griffin. And we are out of here.
Niggas know my city, I'm from Detroit. You don't want no problems here with me, boy. Yeah, my name is A.O. White, but I'm from Detroit. Middle fingers to niggas who ain't with me, boy. Pull up, 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 pull up.
Boy, no answer. I be chillin' in the sun, no Sanford. Same chick you can never get a dance from. Same one that I'm about to put my mans on. Are you stuck in the friend zone, boy? fit. Cause you got your bitch pants on, boy. Rocking that polo and baggiest nigga. Lighting it up for the heaviest hitter. The chick that I'm with, boy, you never can get it. And if you the shit, boy, that mean I'm the shitter. 6 Mile at the Blackstone days. Late nights I lean. Hard work pays. Now we out paving out the life we drink.
Niggas know my city, I'm from Detroit. You don't want no problems here with me, boy. Yeah, my name is 808, but I'm from Detroit. Middle fingers to niggas who ain't with me, boy. Pull up, pull up. 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 Pull up, pull up.
Stay high, rolling white in my ride. All my life it's grind time. Cinemax and bright light.
What you get when you come to my city? I'm from Detroit.
Detroit, 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 Detroit. I'm
from Detroit, 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 Detroit. Niggas know my city, I'm from Detroit.